Welcome back again to Vesper Meadow. Here we are in an area of meadow that is on the kind of north end or downstream end. In this kind of part of the meadow where the plants are more native, it's not as invaded by non-native grasses. We're kind of getting a sense of what some of our restoration might look like, what some areas of the meadow we want to recreate will look like. If we look down at the ground cover here, the understory, the meadow, we can see that it's a little less impacted by invasive grasses. It has more of these native bunch grasses. This is romer's fescue. It also has some more open patches of area that are good for some species to have kind of that space. Also allowing for other flowers to be growing in those kind of areas between bunch grasses. But this is Vesper Sparrow nesting habitat. We have a few different strategies to achieve restoration for the Vesper Sparrow habitat at the meadow. One takes a more holistic ecosystem approach. We're looking at restoring the ecosystem as a whole because the Vesper Sparrow's habitat is a part of that. So that means restoring the water and the creek in the meadow. And then two, we're also looking at improving the places in the meadow where the Vesper Sparrow makes its nests. And so what that means is killing off the non-native grass and replacing it with native grasses and flowers. And this is important so that the Vesper Sparrows have good nesting substrate, good materials to build their nests, and good cover from predators and protection in the meadow, and good habitat to find insects. The native grasses and flowers, when they're more diverse, provides more insects, provides more options for food for the Vesper Sparrow. And what this looks like right now is smothering the grass with big plastic tarps. This is an alternative to using herbicides. And so once those areas of non-native grass have been killed off, we can plant those areas with native grasses and flowers from seeds that we've collected with volunteers. We hope into the future to be able to reintroduce fire to the ecosystem as a way to help maintain the habitat, to encourage native plant growth, and to kind of get back to this natural process that has been a part of the ecosystem for millions of years.
So my name is Sean Prive. I'm a plant ecologist, and I work with the Understory Initiative, which is a nonprofit organization that helps other organizations or government agencies or landowners do ecological restoration. We help with the planning. We help collect information to say whether or not restoration is working and whether it's effective. And we also help provide seed and plants and things like that to make sure that the restoration is successful. At Vesper Meadow, we are helping to plan and monitor efforts to improve the conditions in the creeks and the meadows so that water moves in a natural way, water is stored in the meadows in a natural way, so there's better habitat for all the different animals and plants that live there. To a large extent, we don't know what every native plant does for any particular bird or butterfly or a bee or larger animal like an elk or a bear. We don't always know all the relationships between the plants and the animals or the creek or the water, but we do know that those plants have been there for a very long time, and the animals that live with those plants often have relationships with them. They might eat only specific plants or use only certain types of flowers, and so we do know that a broader diversity of native plants is important.
Right now, we're facing the biggest species extinction in the history of the Earth. This work is what it will take to save the Oregon Vesper Sparrow from extinction. It's exciting because our style of restoration at Vesper Meadow is about creating community that powers that restoration, where we have scientists informing the work, volunteers that are being stewards of the land and learning from the strategies of restoration, and artists that help share the story of this work. Our hope is for people to then apply this work to other places, because there are so many places everywhere that are in need of restoration. At the end of the day, we're not only restoring habitat for the sake of the Vesper Sparrow, but for the ecosystem as a whole, for humans, and for all creatures.